Right now, taking a live look at the Thursday evening commute. Here are the conditions on 95 by Broad Street. Traffic is typically backed up in this area. But last night, at least a dozen cars were damaged near this section of the highway, many left with flat tires. 3 people were taken to the hospital as part of the incident. And state police believe large chunks of asphalt fell from a dump truck on 95 South. Jake Holter spoke with one of the drivers impacted, and he joins us now live from Providence. Jake?
Yeah, Mike and Shannon, quite the unexpected scene here last night. A dozen cars halted by debris just north of the Point Street overpass on 95 South.
It is certainly rare for a dozen cars to have flats from the same hazard.
Chunks of asphalt strewn across I-95 South in Providence Wednesday night, damaging a dozen cars. In video captured that night, you can see them pulled over on the highway.
When you do see something like this happen, it's really important as a driver that you don't swerve, because what you're going to do is trade one hazard for another.
We caught up with one of the drivers whose car was damaged by the debris.
It was pretty scary too, because if I was going, I wasn't going too fast. I was actually going below the speed limit, so it would have been worse if I was going faster, the guy said. Jordan Tobin was driving to his friend's house when he hit the chunk of asphalt. I didn't know what it was at first. That's the scary thing. So I was driving, and then I look in front of me, and I talked to my friend was in the passenger seat, and he was like, Jordan. He was like, what? I don't know what that is. He was like, slow down. The debris popping 2 of his tires. So I went over it more on the right of it. That's why my 2 right tires were messed up. So I feel like if I went straight over it, I could have flipped. He says he's just thankful the situation wasn't worse. Thank God it was just the tires and the rims. So it's gonna be a pricey fix, but I hope I can figure something out and everything goes all right. Now, if found, state police said the driver of the dump truck could be cited for failing to secure a load. Reporting live in Providence, Jake Holter, 12 News.
We're hearing from one of the dozen drivers who hit large chunks of asphalt on 95 South in Providence last night. State police believe the debris likely fell off a dump truck. Jake Holter joins us live from Providence with what that driver had to say and what he's learned about the investigation. Jake?
Well, Shannon, shortly after 9 o'clock last night, the scene here behind me on 95 South, just north of the Point Street overpass, looking very different. A dozen cars were seen pulled over on the side of the road after hitting large chunks of asphalt. One of the drivers involved says it was a scary situation. It was pretty late, so everyone was like panicking. It was pouring. Jordan Tobin was driving to his friend's house Wednesday night when the unexpected happened. He hit a large chunk of asphalt while driving on 95 South in Providence, like 11 other drivers that night. It was maybe this big, and then like from the ground it was probably like this, high up, and then my car is pretty low to the ground, so it was kind of crazy. It could have been way worse. But he says his car took a decent hit. You can see the damage in these pictures Tobin shared with us. The 2 right rims were just completely done, and the 2 tires on the right were done too. Tobin saying he's frustrated that he's going to be out a lot of money for the damage and the tows. There was nothing I could really do to avoid the situation besides obviously slow down. I feel like it wasn't really my fault, and I shouldn't be held accountable for it.
The responsibility when it comes to these kinds of hazards is on the driver of the vehicle who either has cargo or load to secure that down properly. We really urge drivers to do that to help keep everyone safe.
Now, if found, state police said the driver of the dump truck could be cited for failure to secure a load. Providence police said 3 people were transported to the hospital with minor injuries. Reporting live in Providence, Jake Holter, 12 News.